Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Her Highness, the Honorable Lady, spouse of His Majesty the Sultan, presides next Sunday over the graduation ceremony for a batch of police women at the Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences in the Wilaya of Nizwa. The Global Summit on Semiconductors and Electronic Chips discusses in Muscat digital investment opportunities in the Sultanate of Oman. And the 27th International Muscat Book Fair is launched today with participation from 826 publishing houses. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty Emperor Naruhito of Japan on the occasion of his birthday. His Majesty Sultan Haytham also sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassan Al Bolkiah of Brunei Darussalam on the occasion of his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan sent a similar cable to His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, on the occasion of his country's National Day. Her Highness, the Honorable Lady, spouse of His Majesty the Sultan, shall preside next Sunday over the Royal Oman Police graduation ceremony of the batch of police women at the Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences in the Wilaya of Nizwa. Along with Her Highness, the Honorable Lady, a number of Their Highnesses, honorable members of the State Council, Their Excellencies, senior Royal Oman police officers, and a number of educational and health cadres from the female component of Al Dakhliya Governorate will attend the ceremony. With wide local and international participation, the Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, hosted the Global Summit on Semiconductors and Electronic Chips. The second-day summit aims to shed light on the Sultanate of Oman as economically and technologically sound destination that attracts investments besides enhancing efforts to localize technology. This summit discusses several themes, the most important of which are the opportunities for digital investments in the Sultanate of Oman and the challenges of manufacturing semiconductors. The opening of the summit was held under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Mahad Baween, Minister of Labour. The activities of the 27th edition of Muscat International Book Fair 2023 is launched today. 826 publishing houses from 32 countries participate in more than 533,063 titles and publications. It also includes more than 160 cultural activities. The Governorate of South Al-Batna is the guest of honor, in which this edition will continue till 4th of March. Artificial intelligence is being used for the first time to know the number of visitors in real time, their ages and categories, and to help collect and analyze all data related to the exhibition. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Nasser Al-Zaabi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, received His Excellency Daniel Benaim, Deputy Assistant Secretary of the State of Arabian Peninsula Affairs in the Near East Bureau at the U.S. Department of State. During the meeting, views were exchanged on a number of issues of common interest were discussed. The Small and Medium Enterprises Development Fund, INMA, announced the start of receiving funding requests for the new year to take advantage of the financing products and services provided by the INMA Fund to entrepreneurs and owners of small and medium enterprises. The fund stated that the total amount allocated for financing small and medium enterprises for the current year amount to 20 million Omani riyals. The INMA Fund confirmed that the field visit program for small and medium enterprises will be available this year and will continue to provide its advantages to funded clients through monitoring and guidance for the development of their projects. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia celebrates today the founding day of the country.
The Sultanate of Oman shares its neighboring country the celebratory occasion, recalling the deep-rooted history between the two countries and the shared visions that are materialized through joint projects in various sectors. The last visit of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where he met His Majesty Salman bin Abdulaziz, King of Saudi Arabia, the custodian of the two holy mosques, reflects the enshrined relations between the two brotherly countries that is built on mutual respect and care for each other's interests. Crown Prince His Highness Mohammed bin Salman's visit to the Sultanate of Oman has contributed positively in closing a number of joint projects, including opening of empty quarter border checkpoint and development of Duqm Petrochemical Complex, in addition to agreements covering information technology, entrepreneurship, logistics, and mining.
Still to come in our news bulletin. The 10th International Sculptures Camp bids farewell after 7 days of activities and participation from 11 countries. Welcome back to the Sultanate of Oman television, and now for the international world. During a daytime raid in the occupied West Bank, the Israeli occupation forces gunned down at least 10 Palestinians and wounded over 100, according to Palestinian officials. The Palestinian Health Ministry said that a 72-year-old man was among dead in the raid took place today in the city of Nablus. The Israeli military confirmed the operation but gave no further information. The raid was among the deadliest violence in the year of fighting in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Over 50 Palestinians lost their lives in the West Bank and East Jerusalem since the start of 2023. Both houses of Russia's parliament have quickly endorsed President Vladimir Putin's move to suspend the last remaining nuclear arms treaty with the United States. Officials and lawmakers cast in an 11th-hour warning to Washington. Putin declared that Moscow was suspending its participation in the 2010 New START treaty in his State of the Nation address today, saying that Russia can't accept U.S. inspections of its nuclear sites under the pact, while Washington and its NATO allies have openly declared the goal of Russia's defeat in Ukraine. Putin emphasized that Russia was not withdrawing from the pact altogether, and that Russia's foreign ministry said the country would respect the caps on nuclear weapons set under the treaty. Russia has called a Security Council meeting on last September's explosions at the Nord Stream 1 and 2 gas pipelines from Russia to Western Europe after circulating a resolution calling for a UN investigation of the sabotage. Ahead of yesterday's afternoon meeting, the ambassadors of Denmark, Sweden and Germany sent a letter to the council members saying the investigations have established that there has been extensive damage to Nord Stream 1 and 2 and that the damages was caused by powerful explosions due to sabotage. The latter said further investigations are being conducted in all three countries and it is not possible to say when they will be concluded. It says Russian authorities have been informed about the ongoing investigations. Back to local news, the Muscat Municipal Council reviewed the proposed development programs for the Muscat Governorate that included development plans for infrastructure, urban planning and various land schemes. The council reviewed also during the second meeting this year the work programs for the committees of fruits and vegetables market regulation, development of a slaughterhouse, the mechanism of regulating the work of volunteers, work under the supervision of the Minister of Social Development, in addition to commercial activities dedicated for Omani investors. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sayyid Hilal bin Saud Al Busaidi, Governor of Muscat and Chairman of the Municipal Council. The Municipal Council of Al Brahmi Governorate reviewed in its second meeting of this year the updates of the development projects in the Governorate. The Council also reviewed the minutes and reports of the specialized committees and government entities. A proposal to organize the work of food kiosks and proposed sites for their implementation was also discussed, as well as establishing a garden of wild plants in the Governorate and a market for agricultural products in the Wilaya of Al Sunaina. Emphasizing the role of the Municipal Council in Al Dakhliya Governorate in expressing its views and everything that would develop into the wilayas, the Governorate, the Council reviewed in its second meeting of this year the updates of the development projects in Al Dakhliya Governorate. The meeting discussed the project's distribution map and reviewed its cost, which exceeds 37 million Omani Riyals. The meeting also dealt with the program of the annual festival of Al Dakhliya Governorate. The Office of South Batna Governor approved during the meeting for the Walis, Shura and Municipal Council members holding the tourism festival under the theme Experience South Batna, which will be held for 10 days starting from the 1st of March. The festival venues will be in 3 locations: Rimal Khaybat, Al Qidan, Al Musana Port Area and Wilaya of Barka. The activities will include a blend of activities such as sand marathon, an exhibition for classic cars, camel and horse races, shooting competitions, in addition to a number of fun beach sport activities. The Omani Real Estate Association stresses the importance for building sustainable partnerships to enrich the sector. This was highlighted in the meeting held in partnership with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning in the presence of brokers, real estate developers, experts, workers, and those interested in the sector. More details in the following report.
To advance the real estate sector in the Sultanate of Oman and enhance awareness of its role and the impact on the development of the national economy and promote best practices to serve the sector and its workers, the Omani Real Estate Association held a meeting in partnership with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning and in the presence of brokers, real estate developers, experts, workers and those interested in the sector. Where the meeting reviewed the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the sector and other economic and policy changes witnessed by many countries of the world during the last period, with expectations of the growth and recovery of the real estate sector due to the rise in energy prices and the improvement in the performance of the state's general budget.
The importance of this gathering is basically to engage all the stakeholders in the real estate sector and to speak about the challenges and the difficulties what the sector faces. And also it's a very good chance for the regulators, Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning, like to meet with them, to sit with them and to discuss whatever happens and how to improve the sector, basically.
The meeting revealed the association's intention to organize a number of seminars and forums during the coming period, such as the Oman Real Estate Exhibitions 2023, the Value-Added Tax Symposiums and its impact on the real estate sector, the Symposium on Legislation and Laws related to the real estate sector, the Symposium on the Real Estate Technology, the Oman Real Estate Forum and Awards, and the Symposium of Owners Associations, where through these events and activities the association seeks to translate its objectives and consolidate its role as an effective strategic partner in the development of the sector and to strengthen and sustain its local and external partnerships.
Today we are launching version 2.0 of GoLands application after a whole year of extremely successful achievement in terms of user experience and the volume of lands which were presented and listed in the application. We've launched the application last year under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Khalfan Al-Shuaili, Minister of Housing and Urban Planning. And during the last year, we had more than 35,000 active users and more than 13,000 lands which are presented in the application.
Minister of Housing and Urban Planning, national strategy for the real estate sector, which includes 5 strategic pillars: sector governance, market efficiency and investments promotion, digitalization and innovation, talent management. During this first real estate gathering, the Omani Real Estate Association stressed the importance of building sustainable partnerships to enrich the sector, and they have affirmed to work on that particular path. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Public Establishment for Industrial Estates, Madain, is participating in the Gulf-Food Exhibition Gulf-Food 2023 at the Dubai World Trade Center in the United Arab Emirates, with the participation of more than 4,000 exhibitors from 180 different countries. Through its presence in Gulf Food, Madain seeks to achieve a set of marketing and economic goals represented in promoting Omani products outside the Sultanate of Oman and finding new outlets in different segments of consumers for them at the regional and international levels. Besides Madain, the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Authority, and a group of Omani companies and factories in the food industry sector are taking part in the exhibition to increase the competitive strength of its products in the foreign market and expand its commercial activity. After 7 days of artistic and cultural activities, the International Sculptures Camp was concluded in the Wilaya of Sohar. 24 sculptures from 11 Gulf, Arab and international countries participated in the camp in its 10th edition. Their art was collected in an exhibition that included sculptures for international and external display. More details in the following report.
To expand the scope of interest in the art of sculpture as one of the most prominent arts capable of transforming one-dimensional materials into three-dimensional ones with artistic value and various meanings, the International Sculptures Camp in the Wilaya of Sohar concluded in its 10th edition after a week of sculptural and artistic activities.
I'm so proud that Sultanate Oman has invited different sculpture artists from different parts of the world. That shows that Oman is an important cultural center on the map of the world. We saw beautiful work. They changed the experiences and ideas between them. I wish them all the best.
The International Sculptures Camp in the Wilaya of Sohar placed itself on the map of international artistic events through its 10 editions. This camp witnessed the participation of 24 artists and sculptors from the Sultanate of Oman, GCC, Arab and international countries, which resulted in 24 sculptural works that were exhibited. They varied between sculptures for internal and external display. Materials such as marble and wood were used, combining the arts of composition and abstraction, as well as showcasing interest in people.
I was pleased actually today to be invited to attend today the 10th sessions of the gathering, and really it was for me a very special moment, as this year the topic was sustainability. It's really a very important topic for the world. The topic of environments and keep the environments. I think it is very important, a priority for everybody.
It is worth noting that the International Sculptures Camp was able to produce more than 220 sculptures work during its 10 years, with a total of 235 participants from about 40 countries.
In order to activate youth clubs' role in developing and reinforcing abilities and talents of their members, the Directorate of Culture, Sports and Youth in its South Sharqiya Governorate organized the conclusion ceremony of the second stage of clubs competition for cultural creativity. More details in the coming report.
Someone is chanting, other is performing a poem, and another participant is playing a guitar. This is all in the last stage of clubs competition for cultural creativity in South Sharqiya Governorate. The 9th edition of the competition helped to filter and discover various talents from South Sharqiya clubs. Those talents were under different categories such as literary works or knowledge and talent. All of this was part of a very competitive competition and ended up with awarding the winning participants to move to the next stage, which will be across the country. The winners in all competition categories and jury committee were awarded in the awarding ceremony. Such talented people are considered as a very rich cultural bank in the Sultanate of Oman, which will help to maintain cultural sustainability, where this will be considered as a hub for further prizes in an international scale. Sultan bin Saif al-Sarai from South Sharqiya Governorate, Wilaya of Sur.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Her Highness, the Honourable Lady, spouse of His Majesty the Sultan, presides next Sunday over the graduation ceremony for a batch of police women at the Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences in the Wilaya of Nizwa. The Global Summit on Semiconductors and Electronic Chips discusses in Muscat digital investment opportunities in the Sultanate of Oman. And the 27th International Muscat Book Fair is launched today with the participation from 826 publishing houses. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night and stay safe.